I can remember as a public defender in Philadelphia watching lawyers come up to the bar of the court, and the judge would say, "Is this a capital case?" And the lawyer would turn to the prosecutor and say, "Is it a capital case?" They didn't know.
There were a lot of death penalty cases coming through, and the way that they were being prosecuted, as a law clerk, I could see what wasn't happening.
You had major offices around the state that were under-resourced, underfunded. There was no one to train them on all the components that make capital cases so much different.
It's a cliche that death is different, but the reason is that death penalty cases involve not just litigation, but mitigation. Investigating and telling a client's life story to decision makers in a way that evokes empathy. The Commonwealth does nothing to fund this work, not even a resource center.
There was no statewide organization at all for death penalty questions. The Atlantic Center started in 2010 to try to fill that need, to be a place of expertise where people could come and get training, get consulting, and get advice on how to handle death penalty cases. Free services for people facing the death penalty and people serving life sentences, improperly.
It's almost by definition more than an attorney alone can handle. It's so important that a legal team has access to the Atlantic Center at day one.
Our annual Bring Your Own Case training is one of the only free to attend case training for capital credits in Pennsylvania. We're really valuable because we can steer them to concepts or case law or things that might be relevant to their case that they wouldn't know of or think about.
There were just things that we were doing in Philadelphia in terms of how we resolved our cases without going to a full death penalty trial that a lot of these counties had never heard of, had never, been exposed to before.
I think the reality of capital defense, and Mark talks about it in his book, is that it's really an art form, and you have to kind of live and breathe it and be doing it all the time to be well-versed. It's so nuanced.
If you've ever handled a death penalty case yourself, you know the stress that goes into that and the pressure that you feel with having someone else's life kind of in your hands.
Francis Harvey and Mark Bookman, they honored me by taking my case. They honored me by being a part of my life.
I did have bad experiences with attorneys before, but for some reason this was different for me. What sold it to me was when you started asking me questions that only come from the transcripts. So at that point on, I said, man, they reading the transcripts, So I kind of knew that y'all was really serious about justice, serious about, looking into the case, investigating it, and bringing out the truth.
My brother was told by several attorneys not to spend any more money, that my case, that I'm never getting out of prison, and my case was hopeless, and I was going to basically die in prison. And when you guys came along and reviewed the file, that opened everything up to my freedom. And here I am.
We've had a lot of success over 15 years now in reducing death sentences in Pennsylvania. We've gotten the defense bar to take death penalty cases as seriously as they should be taken, which is really the most serious case you can have, as a practicing lawyer.
The Atlantic Center has a base of talent and knowledge that is unbelievable. Any expansion that we can do, I know, is going to save lives.
My hope is that it can continue to grow.
I would love to have more lawyers. It would be really cool to help more people who reach out to us.
One of the important things that ACCR does is they provide resources to people that are under-resourced. And that's one of the reasons that I really have always supported ACCR.
The need is everywhere, and we're fulfilling it as best we can, but it's not enough.
We're at a critical time nationally. ACCR's needed more than ever.
But we don't have more people with boots on the ground assisting. There's so many other individuals like me that don't have no help. I'm grateful for this moment to show you that thanks is due.
All of you at ACCR are standouts in your own right, but collectively, you are my team of super sheroes and heroes.
Thank you to the Atlantic Center. You guys do a marvelous job.
The idea that y'all took my case was hope, and it was the best feeling ever. I'm here because of that.
What's amazing in ACCR's 15 years of operation is how effectively its message of mitigation and empathy has been carried beyond capital cases to others involving unjust, excessive sentences.
Just remember that we're trying to put ourselves out of business since 2010. It's not an accident that I have no hair. The stress of the job is significant.
Shout out Book and his team at ACCR. Congratulations on 15 years. You have helped countless clients, saved lives.
Congratulations, ACCR. Keep up the good work.
We are so excited for ACCR and their 15 years of success. Congrats, Mark, to you and your team. Yes.
With love.